Welcome to Good or Trash, episode 219. Before Watchmen, Minutemen. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jason.
Welcome to the show, Jason.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
We're bringing it down a little bit.
We are bringing it down. We're keeping it cool and mellow.
While everybody else is out there celebrating the football game.
Yep.
Laughing and cajoling and
Drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Gorging themselves.
Raping.
On fried foods and alcohol and debauchery.
Of course.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. It is Super Bowl Sunday
Yes, it is.
here at the Gutter Trash Studios and everywhere else.
Yes, and as per every Super Bowl, here we are, talking about something nerdy.
Yeah. I love that about us. I work at a store that sells sports cards, and I just found out Friday what teams are in the football game. Did you don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you tell me, that's when I find out.
The 49ers.
San Francisco.
And that's right. And Baltimore. Do you know who they are?
The Ravens.
That's right.
Simone Warner.
No, you're right. I mean, it was a sort of a trick question because if you weren't up to date on football, you might have said the Colts because in the 60s and 70s, it was the Baltimore Colts.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, learning new things.
I found that out Friday, too.
Well, you know, of course, the Baltimore Ravens are actually the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
Yeah.
They changed their name after...
They fucked off out of Cleveland and moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens. And so the Cleveland Browns that exist now are replacement Cleveland Browns.
Oh, they're like the Vance and Coy of the Browns.
Sure. I don't know what that means either.
The two dudes that showed up when John Snyder and whoever and whatever his name.
Tom Wopat.
Tom Wopat, yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes.
I don't like football.
I don't like football either. Or the Dukes of Hazzard.
I would rather watch Dukes of Hazzard than football, but I would rather not do either.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, obviously I'm not a jock, but I would watch just about any other sport. I could watch baseball, I could watch basketball,
Yeah.
I could watch hockey, I could watch NASCAR. I've only seen one NASCAR game?
Race.
I've only seen one in my life, and it was like 2 weeks ago, but,
That's not true.
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That is not true.
What?
Because I remember at least a year ago you telling me how awesome it was when you and Kathleen's dad watched
That's
NASCAR.
that's what we did.
Yeah, that was like a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it seems like it's so burned fresh in my mind. But football's always been my least favorite sport to watch. Always. I've only watched maybe like 5 football games in my life.
I've seen more than that, but I would much rather burn my eyeballs out with curling irons than watch NASCAR. But I am perfectly okay with ignoring a football game when it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should watch NASCAR with Kathleen's dad sometime.
No.
It's pretty fun.
I will not watch it with
he'll
anyone.
grill out and give you some beers.
I like both of those things, but if the condition is that I have to watch NASCAR, I will rather play in traffic.
Well, at his house, he lives in the middle of South Vienna, so if you try to play in traffic, you might be waiting a long time in the middle of the road. It's not like the metropolis that is Dayton, Ohio. But
yeah, no, I'm not a football fan, but I don't I don't hate football. I just would rather not ever watch it if I didn't have to.
Right.
And other sports I'm mostly fine with. But also, anytime sports are on, I can think of 1,000 other things I would rather be doing.
Yeah.
I don't mind going to a game.
Yeah.
Like being there live. I'm fine with that.
That's more fun.
It is a lot more fun, and you actually feel like you're maybe doing something.
Yeah.
You're at least hanging out with your friends and socializing.
Right.
With a football game, you're just sitting in your house.
And you can yell at a guy. Like, I've yelled at people on opposing hockey teams before when I went to Jim's games.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want to go to a hockey game with you, though.
I've only done that once.
Quiet dignity. Still counts.
I was probably drinking. All my friends were doing it. No, actually. I think I went with one other guy, and I don't think he was yelling either. So, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
Live is better.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're talking about music.
Yeah.
Then I would rather have a CD.
I guess overall, I'd rather just stay home and do nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to love going to concerts, but I would much rather have the CD and a comfortable chair in my house than or the record. I'll take a vinyl. I'll even take a cassette. I got a Walkman.
Right.
But I'd rather not go see most people play live.
Right.
There's exceptions, but
it's been about 6 years. Maybe not that, but at least 6 years since I went to see any kind of band perform, and it has been 11 years since I actually went to a concert.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we went to see Hank 3. That was a concert.
Okay, all right. But that's also 6 years.
It's been a while. Yeah.
But I'm talking like stadium concert.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Like a big...
Yeah. Well, I consider the Hank 3 thing more like it's in between going down to Elbows and seeing a show and the stadium thing.
Right, yeah.
I don't consider that a concert.
Right.
That's just a show that we had to drive a far away place to.
Yeah, instead of any place that stamps your hand. Still,
right, yeah. Okay, it is the... It's the normal show that I would go to when I would do such a thing is when it was mostly just packed full of friends of the band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then like the Hank 3 is where there's only a couple of friends of the band,
right.
And then the rest is just people.
Yeah.
But then there's the stadium thing, which is nobody is friends with
nobody. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I haven't been to one of those giant shows. I don't know. Andrew Bird was bigger. Like, I went to see Andrew Bird a month or two ago, and that was at a theater. But it was like, it was just like a nice theater, like when we went to Chicago to see Never Not Funny. It was just like that. It was just some old theater that was mostly full of people.
Right. Sit down.
It was a sit down. Yeah.
That's
performance. Yeah. I love the sit down show, man.
Yeah.
I would have hated it when I was like 20, but I fucking love the sit down show now. Ah, that's awesome.
So let's get into this.
Ooh.
Before Watchmen,
Minutemen.
by Darwin Cook.
He did it all.
He did most of it.
He didn't color it or anything.
He did not color it. Phil Noto colored
it. Yeah, he's awesome.
Which he is not primarily known as a colorist.
No, he's not.
He's mostly known as a penciler. So Darwin Cook, exploiting the blood, sweat, and tears of Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons.
That's right. Pissing on their graves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where do we start with this?
Yeah. There was apprehension, I think, on both of our parts of reading before Watchmen because, there's something about that you're like, it's cool to leave it alone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was really excited once I heard who all, the creative teams were.
Yeah. the only interest that I really had in this whole thing when it was announced, for the listener that may not know, and if you don't, what the hell are you doing here? But before Watchmen was announced, like last year or something like that, and it was basically a prequel to Alan Moore's Watchmen.
You mean Dave Gibbons' Watchmen? Alan Moore. Alan Moore's name isn't on that movie. I've watched that movie.
I'm talking about the original comic, where
okay.
Alan Moore's name is still on.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, so it was like 6 miniseries? 8?
6 or I think it's 8 now. Yeah, because they added.
I know they've added a few.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, just prequels to the Watchmen story about the different characters told by some pretty big names in comics.
Oh yeah.
Such as a Darwin Cook.
Straczynski.
J. Michael Straczynski, one of the biggest names in comics.
Yeah, like literally.
It has a lot of letters in it. Joe Kubert, Brian Azzarello,
Amanda
Weaver
Connor.
Mayo, Amanda Connor, Adam Hughes, who ruined my life. Just a ton of people.
Eduardo Risso.
Is he doing?
He did the. I think he did the Moloch, didn't he?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's after the point I really stopped paying attention and or caring.
Yeah. Steve Rude did one of them.
Did he?
He did the dollar bill.
Okay, then. Again, also well after the fact that I stopped paying attention.
Right.
There's a point to what I'm saying here, and it is that I stopped giving a shit about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the books were solicited, and like they started coming out right around the same time that I started doing the mail order thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so like the first issues came out like that first month or so that I started like placing those orders, and the company that I do the orders from offered like all the first issues for $1 each.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Cover price of $4. So
right, yeah.
That's a good deal.
And so I think I had decided at that point that I wasn't going to get any of them. Like it just like I'm not so much like I don't feel any kind of righteous indignation against DC for doing this.
Right.
Like in the end, like they fucked over Alan Moore, but at the same time they still own those characters and can do whatever the fuck they want with them. And I think waiting 30 years, especially after like a big movie about it came out, to, you know, even attempt to do this.
And they've asked him.
They've asked him numerous times, and they have respected his wishes to not do anything up until this point.
Right.
But there's got to be a point where, like, I mean, they're a giant corporation.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, the bosses are just going to say, well, fuck that bearded asshole.
Man, I hate fucking bearded assholes. Like, I always shave them right before I get in there.
You don't want to get tangled.
No, it's like cut off circulation.
Right. So you know, it's like it's totally within DC's right to do this. It's a little distasteful, but you know, again, they waited far beyond what I think any other corporation would have.
Right.
You know, out of like this sort of respect and maybe sort of a hope that, well, if we treat him nicely, maybe he'll come back and work for us one day, kind of thing.
And maybe like a fear that fans wouldn't jump on board right away.
Right. And there's been some controversy about this thing.
Right.
You know? So, like, despite the names of people attached to this thing that I really enjoy, like, I think I had decided that I wasn't going to get this at all.
Right.
But then, you know, money talks. And offering every book for $1, it's gonna make me change my mind.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Right.
That's a good deal.
So I went ahead and did them. I got the books, at least the ones that I felt the most, you know, a slightly more desire to read than any of the others. And then like they started coming, and I never bothered to read any of them.
Really? Okay.
And then it got to the point where, like, they were coming out in, like, weird intervals, and
Oh, yeah.
it was, like, scattered around, and plus, like, you know, that discount didn't go on to the other months.
Right.
I mean, they're still cheaper, you know, than normal, but, you know, it got to the point where I was like, well, you know, my interest in this is so minimal.
Yeah.
That, like, I just canceled all of them, and I got rid of the ones that I had gotten. And so, like, you know, yeah, it's like, for like, a brief moment, I had an interest in this, and just decided to back out against it. And I honestly would not have read any of these if you hadn't have picked this.
Right.
You know? And, I feel justified.
I wasn't sure which way you were going to go with that. So you did not like this?
I did not.
Oh, you did not. Okay.
We've reviewed a couple of other Darwin books before.
Hunter, right?
The Hunter and Selena's Big Score.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I think I've probably said it in both of those, that I think Darwin Cook is a fucking great artist. I think he's a really solid writer. I enjoy seeing him do things. But this was just not good for so many reasons.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I think I honestly thought I would like it more. I thought I would fucking love it.
Right.
But I'd say I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we at this point have reviewed something like 105, 110 different comics over the 4.5 years we've been doing this. We've also reviewed just as many movies. But the one thing that I've said about some movies, but I don't think I have ever said about any of the comics we have ever read, is that I found this to be fucking boring.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think I have ever found any of the comics that we've read, whether I liked them or not, to be just boring.
Okay.
And man, this was a slog.
It's got a slow pace to it.
I fell asleep reading every issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like super late or super early? No.
Just started reading and I would just doze off.
Huh. Do you think it's like it has a very like an astringent grid he uses? Like there's that
Has nothing to do with that.
Okay. I was like, because it's monotonous, like the grid, and like it's, you know.
If anything, I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Because, I mean, obviously it's paying homage to, you know, the original Watchmen.
Right.
By doing that. But, you know, I think any other artist may have just done, you know, all willy-nilly kind of, you know, crazy panels and whatever.
Yeah.
And he really sticks to that grid, and I think that is far more impressive than, you know, just splash pages and breaking panels and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's any example in there of, like, anything breaking through the panel borders.
No. I mean, there's like...
There's large images, but it's broken up by the panels.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I think structure-wise and artistically and design-wise, this is a fantastic book.
Mm-hmm.
But I think story-wise, I found it super dull. And honestly, like, just didn't care about anything in it that happened. Because it's already all been covered in a big-ass book that came out 30 years ago.
Right.
I guess 25 years ago, whatever.
But do you think it's maybe, you know, something to do with the characters that he was using, that maybe, like, you know, he's basically telling backstory and it wasn't as exciting because he's got a limited place to go with it. Maybe he's like holding back a little bit or something.
Maybe. I mean,
I didn't find it boring at all. I'm just trying to figure out why you did.
I mean, yeah, that is a pretty big reason, I think, is because, you know, I mean, yeah, I already know how it all pans out.
Yeah, it's like watching a prequel to like the Star Wars prequels or
Right,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that, well, I think the main problem is that practically everything in this book is like all the big points in this book are covered in Watchmen.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and so it's like
deaths and reactions.
Right, yeah.
And, yeah.
So it's like it would be as if in Star Wars we got like this huge flashback to something that happened in the past, and then the prequel was just sort of filling in the blank spots in between those flashbacks.
Right.
But what it actually was there was nothing like that in Star Wars, and so he could have done anything he wanted.
Right.
And so it was pretty much unexplored territory. And this is all just, it's filler.
Right. I enjoyed it though. I mean, like, cause is it Hollis Mason? Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay. It kind of focuses on the original Night Owl. He's writing a memoir, basically.
Which is in the Watchmen.
So, yeah, which you may have known from...
In detail.
Right. But it's like, it's like this fun, like, kind of...
fun is not the word I would use.
I think it's fun to go back and look at, like, that whole era, like, because it obviously has a different feel. Like, the Watchmen, like, we've both read the Watchmen on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And I think we can both agree, like, as great as Alan Moore is, like, his stuff is so, like, you just feel so detached from the characters. It's like you're watching them in a petri dish or something.
Right.
Like, there's no, like, funness to any of his characters.
No.
I don't know if that's a reflection on, like, the way he, like, interacts with
He
humans.
doesn't seem like a fun person.
Yeah, like, I couldn't imagine him, like, laughing or kissing someone or, I don't know. But...
Well, I couldn't imagine him laughing because he has no mouth.
no one could tell, yeah. Like, did you hear that, Alan? He's like, I was laughing. But, I don't know, I thought some of it was, like, it had, like, a retro exuberance to the characters, like a golden age kind of feel to, like, a little more fun. It was like a Bruce Timm Batman version of the Watchmen or something.
No, yeah, I didn't get that feeling at all from it. It was just, I mean, the art is gorgeous.
It's amazing, amazing art.
I can't find any fault in just that, that
Right.
portion of this book. But no, I still didn't feel any sort of sense of fun.
Really? Okay.
It's like, because I think the story counters like the sort of lightness that his characters, that Darwin Cook's style
Right.
has.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he is like an excellent noir type artist.
That is strange, yeah.
But he manages to sort of make this really dark but cartoony art style like work.
Yeah.
Like the Bruce Timm Batman the animated series, which is where Darwin got his start.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't feel like I ever thought this was fun at all.
I mean, it is darker. I mean, it is strange that Darwin Cook's style is, I mean, to look at it, like some people, superhero shoppers at Mavericks, like looked at it and they're like, what is this? Cartoony art, just look like crap. It's kid stuff or something.
Right.
Cause yeah, when your average reader looks at it, it looks more akin to the funny papers than it does the current Marvel or DC house styles.
Right.
But that's fucking awesome, but,
but
it is so weird to me that, yeah, his stuff usually has like a darker or like a crime tinged tone to it, which seems odd for his style. Like it seems like he could be doing, I don't know. I mean, something lighter seems like it would fit his style, but I think it actually does work though.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, I mean, obviously, it's what he prefers to do.
Yeah, he has a draw to that sort of thing.
Right. And I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think I don't know. For me, like anyway, I think I would rather see any type of comic, no matter what it is, like crime comic, superhero comic, whatever, to be in an exaggerated cartooning style, like his.
Me too.
You know, rather than a Greg Land or something. You know.
Hyper rendered.
Right? Yeah.
It loses some of the.
Yeah.
It loses something when it's so tight like that.
Exactly. And it's like I don't want to slag on Dave Gibbons here either, but like after reading this, I kind of flipped through the original Watchmen just to sort of get my bearings on like where this story like falls, in relation to like stuff that was revealed in that book, and so just flipping through that for the first time in a couple of years, like I noticed how sort of stiff and tightly rendered that Dave Gibbons style is, even though like
I'm sure that was Alan Moore was cracking the
I'm
whip.
sure, yeah, but even at the same time, like he's it's not to say that Dave Gibbons is a Greg Land style of artist. Like he definitely has his own style, and it's definitely an old school style.
Oh yeah.
But even then, like it is a version of that hyper realistic thing that doesn't appeal to me as much now that it used to, when I was a kid.
Right.
But I mean, like I think Darwin's art is perfect for the setting of this story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he definitely is a good match for those characters and for the type of story that he told in it.
Right.
I just didn't enjoy that story.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I didn't know if this was going to be, just like an adventure with this team, or if it was supposed to lead you to the place where the Watchmen began. But yeah, it sort of had a. I mean, it has a similar feel for some of the characters. Like the comedian plays a pretty big role,
right?
And it sort of solidifies his character early on. The character that sort of becomes, the guy that's killed in the Watchmen. Spoiler if you haven't read The Watchmen, the comedian dies.
On the first page.
Actually on the cover, probably. Yeah, blood, But
depending on which version you get.
Yeah, if you have the international version, you don't really see that. But yeah, so, like, I don't know. I think it fits in well with the whole Watchmen canon, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's sort of one of my problems with it, is that, like, as I was reading it, I was continuously thinking back to the Watchmen.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's been more than a few years since I've actually read the book. And the last time I tried, I could not get through it.
Okay.
Like I find that book to just be really dull and tedious too.
Right.
But I mean, I loved it when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure I would have loved this book as a kid too. Because they said fuck in it.
Yeah. Cartoons saying fuck.
Yeah. I saw a boob.
In this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh yeah, it's during the chapter where the silhouette gets shot after.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I think I did jerk off to that one.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, you see a booby jerk off. It's that's what you do.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
But it's like. I kept trying to fit it into what I already knew about the Watchmen, and like I said, like a lot of it was just sort of filling in the spaces that, we didn't necessarily know.
Right.
But, the entire time I'm thinking, well, we also didn't need to know any of this.
I wonder if, though, he just wanted to tell his story, but at the same time plug in little references to, like, to make people go, okay, well, that's why they bothered calling this the Watchmen, because it has to tie in somehow. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the story was its strong point, but I enjoyed the story. I found it good. I just, the artwork was so amazing that I think I could look past even a bad story. But I don't think it was bad. I just think it was good.
I think it was a bad story with incredible art.
Yeah,
and I think same story with anyone else trying it. I definitely would have disliked it a lot more.
I mean, maybe he was sort of preparing for this because he kind of hits you over the head with something on the very last page. But Hollis Mason's fixing a car, and this is not a real spoiler, it's the last dialogue bubble in the book, but he says, it'll never be like it was when it was new, but there's still plenty of life in this old baby.
Yeah, but I don't think there is.
So maybe he was trying to, like, say that, like, I realize this isn't going to be a Watchmen, but I think the characters are rich enough that you can tell more stories with them.
But again, I don't think that there is.
Yeah.
I think everything that was said about this particular group of characters was said in The Watchmen. And
right.
Anything else is just incidental, and the fact that it's also just a giant flashback.
Right.
You know, like, in the end, it becomes something that just overall doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't add anything to The Watchmen. If anything, like, I feel like it takes away from that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as a person who has grown to not care about The Watchmen at all.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't really care about The Watchmen because, like, we've talked about this before, they're basically parodies of actual characters.
Right, yeah.
Like Blue Beetle and,
right.
You know, whatever. But, and I'll always say I would much rather see any artist that I like creating something brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time. Like, I wish he would have done something that wasn't The Watchmen.
Right.
That it was just his own creation. But, but I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was good.
I mean, I'm glad the Durham Cook is always doing something.
Yeah.
One day I want him to do something I want to read.
Maybe he was such a huge fan of The Watchmen that he just was so excited to be part of it or something.
Well, I imagine that's why, that and a paycheck.
Yeah, people are excited about this.
Like any of the creators worked on it, but that is, it's like, reading this, it is a lot like just fan fiction.
Right, yeah.
It's just, because obviously, there's no input from Alan Moore on, like, any of these characters outside of just what any of the writers have read from the original book.
Or maybe in the 80s, maybe he, like, gave some backstory in interviews or something. Who knows?
But they don't have anything from him, like, now. Like he's obviously not, supporting this whole thing anyway.
Do you think he cast a spell to make this suck? Do you think he tried to cast a spell to make this suck? Yes.
That would work, except for the fact that you don't think it sucks.
No, I don't, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think he tried. I'm sure he tried.
But, I don't know. It's just, like...
It's funny because this is the exact same review that I would have given for the Doc Manhattan miniseries, because that's the only other Before Watchmen I tried reading.
Okay.
And I found it completely boring and uninteresting and and why bother? That's exactly how I felt about that one. But for some reason, I don't know. I think I just love his art so much that I could read, like,
you just look past it.
A manual on how to wipe your ass if he illustrated it. Yeah.
I don't know. I also felt that he was, and I don't think it's anything like you were talking about, like the grid layout of anything, but I do feel like there were some panels where he was just trying really too hard to sort of homage or mesh into, like, the feel of the original Watchmen book.
Right.
That I don't know. I was distracted a lot by stuff like that, and again, pulled off incredibly well.
Right.
But in the end, it just feels kind of pointless and a little wanky.
Right. It's, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, and maybe those same reasons are the reasons I didn't love it as much as I thought I would.
Right.
But it didn't hamper it as much for me. Like I can see where you're coming from, and I don't disagree, but my level of enjoyment was higher.
Yeah. And I had some other issues with it, as well as, like, the sort of lack of an obvious overarching reason for this book to be around. Like the first 4 issues of it all just seem like just random snippets of the past.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Like, by the 5th and 6th issue, like, there's almost kind of a connective tissue, like I mean, there is a connective tissue. Obviously, it's about these characters, and we're seeing
About the memoir.
about the memoir, and him going around to the surviving members of the team and getting their opinions on his book, and dealing with that. But then we get the flashbacks, and the flashbacks is where the thread between them doesn't seem as obvious, other than
Right.
it's just what he's writing about in his book. But
Yeah.
then we get to the point where it does sort of turn into this not so good person has been with them this entire time, and affected some of the stories, but we don't get that until the last issue or so.
Well, I like it. I mean, part of that is what I thought was cool, though. I've always liked the backstory parts, just seeing the characters doing other, I don't know, doing other things, and how they all kind of became together. And it's like when I used to watch the Mask cartoon when I was a kid. My favorite part of that was always whenever they would summon Matt Tracker and Bruce Sato and all those people. You would see whatever they were doing, and then how they would have to leave their job or do whatever and get together. I always loved that backstory stuff, but I don't know if this connects at all, but I
don't think it does.
Yeah, I just want to go watch Mask now, but no, I liked how the whole point of him trying to write the memoir is to have this definitive truth, and it basically comes back around, without spoiling anything, to say there is no actual truth. It's all just how you perceive it,
right.
and it comes back to proves to him at the end that maybe his version of the truth isn't the actual truth. And I don't know, I just think that's an interesting concept for a superhero team. They're not always goody-goody, and that's obviously what the original Watchmen series was about,
right.
But
that may also play a part into my thing, is that I'm kind of tired of just cynical, dirty superheroes.
Right. I agree with that too. I wish superhero books were more fun and less realistic and grimy.
Right.
But I don't know. This one I enjoyed, though.
Yeah. But I don't know. It also just comes down to me again. Just the character stories were already told.
Yeah.
The text excerpts of Under the Hood, the book he's writing, are in the original version or in the original Watchmen, and like I said, after I read this, I kind of flipped through it, and I focused on those part, or any of the flashback scenes that they showed, and it was just everything was covered in that.
Yeah. I did like this stuff with Night Owl and what was her name? The Silhouette. Yeah. It kind of built upon their relationship a little bit more.
Yeah, and I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Yeah.
Just something that, because she's a character who, in the original book, is just dead.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just one. Yeah, it's the one where they wrote in blood like whores or lesbian
whores. Yeah. Which is a thing that you and I just yell out every day.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen more of that relationship and that team, because she is a character that doesn't really matter in the overall Watchmen story.
Right.
But she only plays a small part in this book, and everything that isn't about her I found just to be just uninteresting. And then again, the Mothman character I thought was fairly interesting. So,
oh yeah.
His relationship with Night Owl,
his drinking problems.
Right. Because again, flipping through the original, he's just sort of played off as a joke.
Yeah.
And here he has a little more depth to him. I liked seeing that kind of thing.
Right.
But I just felt that overall it was just filling in stuff that wasn't necessary. I felt one expansion, which is the relationship between Captain Metropolis and Hooded Justice.
Oh yeah.
Which, as far as I know, has just been sort of an internet fan rumor for years.
Right.
And so it just bothers me to see that put to the printed page, like in that particular manner, just because I think it all stems from there's a scene in the original Watchmen where it's when the new Silk Spectre and the new Night Owl are having dinner together, and like in the background you see these two older gentlemen sitting at a table, like holding hands, and then like sitting right next to each other. Obviously, a couple,
right?
And they're both wearing bow ties that also happen to look like superhero masks, like domino masks.
Okay.
And so people are like, "Oh, that's Captain Metropolis and the Hooded Justice," and they're just living their life as a couple, happy together, after all these years. And so it just sort of
I never caught that.
Yeah, and so, but like it's a thing that it was just a rumor. Like one of the characters maybe kind of looks like Captain Metropolis,
right.
But you can't really tell. And so like it just sort of blew up on the internet about that, and so like it just seems like Darwin Cook just took that and said, "Okay, I'll make this fact.
This is what the people want."
Right? Yeah. And just I don't know. It's just one of those things that just kept taking me out of the book, just continuously. And like I don't have a thing against they were a gay couple. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Because you knew one of the characters was gay. I mean, that's
right. Yeah. I'm just more offended that Darwin Cook apparently gave fans some power, and that is never a thing that you want in the comic industry.
I don't know. They let the fans vote to kill Robin in the 80s, and that worked.
Well, that did work out for the best.
Yeah.
Until they brought him back.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I'm just more disappointed that I didn't like a Darwin Cook book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, I guess, to be fair, I didn't particularly enjoy Selena's big score either.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been better, but
yeah,
I thought it was still good.
And again, enjoyed looking at the artwork. I enjoyed that a lot.
And I honestly think, I mean, maybe I've gotten stupider over the years.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. But I think I would be reluctant to make the plunge to reread The Watchmen, because it's just so dense and dry, and like, and like you just heard so much about it, you've seen the movie and blah, blah, blah. But like this was just a lot easier, and like maybe that's what I think it was more fun, because it seemed more inviting to read. Like it didn't seem like you were doing your thesis paper.
Right.
It seemed like you were just enjoying a class that you like, about a subject you like. Where The Watchmen seems like more of an endeavor to get through.
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, when the movie came out, like I wanted to reread the book before the movie came out, and I tried, and I just found it to be kind of just hard to get through, and not because I'm getting dumber or anything like that, because I read it first when I was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And then read it numerous times after that, I think it's just a matter of us getting older and having different tastes.
Right.
And that's just not the kind of thing that we're into anymore. And
Yeah.
just sort of,
deconstructing
dissection.
superheroes,
right? It's like Mark Miller put out preview pages for one of his new books coming out, the one that Frank Quietly is drawing.
Oh, okay.
And it had some dialogue, and it's about superheroes, and they're talking about corporate sponsorship and how there's nobody cool to fight anymore, and there's no villains. And I was like, oh,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's I wasn't really wanting to buy that book anyway because Mark Miller wrote it, but I definitely don't want to get it now, despite the fact that I have a giant man crush on Frank Quietly.
Right. Is it because they're ripping off Liefeld's Youngblood concept? Yeah.
Yeah. And also it just I don't want cynical, snarky bullshit superheroes.
If it has to make fun of superheroes, at least make it fun, like the Tick or the Flaming Carrot or something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just tired of that type of comic.
Right.
And So, yeah. I guess,
We're
we're
almost
over it.
like
Yeah.
you're over it, and I'm almost over it.
Right, yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
And I know you love the movie, but
The Watchmen movie.
yeah, like I did rewatch it not that long ago, and I just kind of felt like that was hard to get through too.
Really?
And
Okay.
just found it kind of still a little too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not a movie I'd watch every week or maybe not even every year, but I did really enjoy it and quite a bit. And
Much
probably,
like the comic, I enjoyed that the very first time I watched it too.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you read this digitally, right?
Yeah.
And I read this paperly.
Right.
Mine had backup stories.
Yeah.
The black
pirate. Yeah.
black. What's it called? Sorry, say Black
Black
Hood.
Flag.
Black Flag. Yeah.
Had Henry Rollins and Chuck Dukowski.
Yeah. I didn't read the backup stuff.
I didn't either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going
Because
to.
I hated the pirate comic and the original comic.
Yeah, that was like, it was kind of,
Yeah.
it just seemed unnecessary. But I was going to read it, but I realized that it was another, maybe corporate scheme to get you to buy a bunch of other books
It
because
was like reprinted the different chapters were in the different books.
right.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Minutemen 1 through 6 has the first 6 parts. It's like part 1, part 4, part 6.
Right,
I was like, what bastards.
yeah. I wasn't going to read those anyway, but yeah, that also was a definite deterrent.
Right.
Because, obviously I wasn't going to read any of them. But
So you didn't even read the number ones before you got rid of them?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the only one that you've read.
This is the only one that I've read any of.
I think this is the only one I will read, other than I might buy the dollar bill one just because, like, I think that character is hilarious. I mean, he's like basically a superhero that just hangs out in the bank all the time.
Yeah.
And but it's just a one shot, like it's just a single issue book. So I might actually read that one.
I think if, like, gun to head, someone said you have to read another one of these,
Right.
I would probably go Silk Spectre.
Yeah, that's Darwin Cook and
Amanda Connor.
Yeah.
And that one does actually look like it has some fun to it, but that just may be because Amanda Connor's work just has that quality to it.
Her art's very, very awesome.
Right. And I mean, initially, like, I wanted to read the Rorschach and the Comedian because I like Brian Azzarello, and I think Lee Bermejo drew the Rorschach one.
Yeah.
And J.G. Jones drew the Comedian.
I'm kind of tempted to read the Comedian one, actually.
And again, like most of them, like Ozymandias has Len Wein. I don't.
But the art's awesome.
But the art looks great.
Jay Lee, yeah.
And then the Night Owl has the Joe Kubert art, but Michael Straczynski wrote it. And, much
Not a
care. I don't dislike anything that he's ever written, but I don't love anything that he's ever written.
Right.
And also, I think Adam Kubert did the pencils on that one, and Joe Kubert was just doing the inks.
I can never remember which one's Andy and which one's Adam.
Yeah, there's the bad one, and then there's the less bad one.
Yeah.
And then there's Joe, who was the good one.
He was, yeah.
So, we're split on this one. But I guess, honestly, it's just going to come down to what you think about the original book, whether you love it or not.
Yeah. Hey, this might actually be something that people that aren't too familiar with the Watchmen would enjoy more. Because, I mean, you don't have to know the Watchmen story. I mean, it ties in, but...
I will say, I probably would have enjoyed it more had I never read The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I wouldn't have known all the...
Where it was going.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty art.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, beautiful, beautiful art.
Yeah. Alrighty, take a break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Our band could be your life. Real names be proved. Me and Mike Watt, we played for years. Punk rock changed our lives. We learned in punk rock in Hollywood. Drove up from Pedro. We were fucking corn dogs. We'd go drink and pogo. Mr. Narrator, this is Bob Dylan to me. My story could be his songs. I'm his soldier child. Our band is scientist rock. But I was E. Bloom, and Richard Hell, Joe Strummer, and John Doe. Me and Mike Watt playing the guitar.
Hi, welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hi,
Hi, buddy.
pal.
What's up? Super Bowl Sunday.
Super's bold.
So we're recording this before. The game started, but we haven't either one seen a minute of it.
Nope. It's been, I think it started like 6:30, something like that.
And it's like a little bit after 8 right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet the 49ers win.
Okay.
I'm gonna bet they win 24-14.
Okay, I agree.
Okay. So you agree with me on that, but not on the Minutemen.
Yep.
All right.
That's because I give even less of a shit
About the football?
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to put the energy into thinking about the team names or the score.
Hopefully we'll sell some football cards tomorrow.
Well, hopefully.
Nice.
Good luck to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't be there.
Okay.
Fuck that place.
You sound as if you have something against that place that you work at.
Yeah. I have nothing against the place other than most things about it. I started to say like I don't have anything against it, but yeah, I kind of do. Really. Yeah, I'm kind of getting bored with working there, so might be moving on.
This is a thing that you have said every episode for 4 years.
I'm slowly walking down the road to get my life in gear. I'll be an adult eventually.
Yeah. Fuck it. It's awful being an adult.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not an adult. I couldn't tell you for sure.
But you've watched other adults.
I've watched other adults, and I do not want to do that.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. So what's up?
Not too much.
Yeah.
Going through some difficulties in the past week or so that I'm not going to get into, but let's just say that Nicole from Heartland Federal Credit Union can go fuck herself.
Awesome. This goes out to Nicole.
Yeah. And some other family issues that are apparently coming up that are going to affect my life for the next couple of months. So
I wish you the best.
thank you. So during that previous segment, I mentioned an artist by the name of Adam Hughes, who once ruined my life.
I remember that.
Yeah, and kind of put me in a deep depression for about 6 months or so. You may recall being there for that.
Oh yeah, I was there. You put your pins away.
I put my pens away. I drew very little, and when I did, I hated every single moment of it. All because I read his art book from DC, and it kind of just broke me. Just because I was absorbing like everything about it and just realizing that I will never be that good.
Aww.
And so then it took me a while, but I managed to get out of it by doing that sketch a day thing that I was doing.
Oh yeah.
And like that was tough to get through, but I did it, and I was productive, and I mean, it was pointless and stupid, and
Like all art.
like all art, but this more so because I didn't really have any sort of goal to it. I was just drawing to draw, and then just to make sure that I was, not being a lazy piece of shit,
Right.
who hated himself, and I would say that out of the 369 days that I drew something, probably about 30 of them are worth talking about. But I was doing something.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need.
Right.
Every piece of art doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It just has to. And I was obviously joking when I said art is crap. I love all art, no matter how good or bad it is.
That makes no sense.
Well, no, I mean I love like people I know making art. I think that's exciting, no matter what level they are or whatever.
Right. So when I stopped doing that, like I had some plans. I was going to do some stuff, but I was going to kind of pace it back and take it slow, and just sort of make sure that anything that I did was going to be of a quality,
Right.
or at least the best that I can put out. Took a commissions list and did approximately 2 out of that entire list, and then did nothing else the rest of that year. So basically, this past year, between 2012 through now, has been the least productive of my life.
Oh man,
especially artistically. And
you get some good stuff drawn.
not really, and very little of it. Didn't accomplish a damn thing. I didn't hit any of the goals that I maybe had set for myself. I didn't do anything. And then in like the past 6 months or so, like I basically drove myself down into that sort of, post Adam Hughes, depression again, and like just struggling to draw anything at all was just a pain. And but I didn't have Adam Hughes to blame this time.
Right.
I'm doing the sketch a day thing again.
Are you really?
Yeah.
When you starting?
Started on Friday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a Tumblr page which no one should go to, but it is all I've been doing there is just reposting all of my old art on my blog, and so on February 1st, I've been going through my blog chronologically, and just picking out, just the stuff that I don't find to be completely horrible and posting it on my Tumblr page. And on February 1st, I basically hit the point where I started the original sketch a day, like the very first piece for that.
Okay.
Was the day that I was going to post that. Which was February 1st, 2011. And so I posted it, and like I wrote this thing about it, how like 2 years ago to this exact same day, like just by complete coincidence, I started the Daily Sketchablog, and in the process of posting that to Tumblr, I decided that I was going to start again.
That's awesome.
Just because this has been the least productive year of my life, and the one thing that helped me get out of that was just forcing myself to draw.
Right.
Seanborn.net, I am posting something a day.
I will be back there.
It's I'm not going to stop either. I'm not giving it a year. I'm just going to keep doing it until I figure out what I'm doing in my life, and just putting my life together, I guess.
Right.
Because there's got to be something, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think there is. And if you're putting out creative energy, it'll come back to you, I think.
I hope.
I really think that.
Like I don't have the skills to do sequential work, but I want to. but I know that that's a thing that if I do, I'm not going to be able to post everything a day on that because then why would I make a comic and then give it away for free?
Right.
Panel at a time.
I think you can do sequential work. I've seen good ones. I think maybe your strong suit right now is illustrations,
Right.
but I don't think that's separate. I don't think you have to only be able to be good at one or the other.
Well, no, but you in order to do sequential stuff, you have to be good at that, and that is
Right.
an entirely different skill set than doing the stuff that I might be considered good at, which is just single illustrative pinups or whatever.
I get you.
I'm not good at doing sequential stuff, no matter whatever you say or whatever you think. It is not a skill set that I have. It's something that I could probably learn, but it's going to take time and dedication, and that's basically where I falter.
Okay.
Is the motivation part of it.
I got you.
To force myself to learn how to do stuff like that. So there may be a point where I'm putting up just maybe 2 or 3 panel strips at some point, just to sort of practice.
Okay, that's cool.
But I'm not. Decided that the thing that ruined me this past year was the fact that I stopped.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have stopped.
Well, I mean, that was a benchmark. A year, you're like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
But I didn't need the break. I needed to keep doing it.
Right.
Because the break ruined me.
No, that's awesome. I am actually genuinely excited to see that continue.
Yeah. Well, so far there's 3 days worth of stuff up there, and they're all terrible.
Awesome. I will look at them tonight.
But yeah, so there's a goal in mind, but I just don't know what it is yet, and I'm gonna try to figure it out, and everybody's gonna see a lot of Post-it doodles until I do.
See, I think life's organic, and learning is always organic. You don't have to have a strict goal in sight. It's just you're constantly evolving and changing.
But you do need a goal.
Well, you need goals, but it's not it can you can be going one direction and just completely change and veer off to the left and go up and circle around.
But you do need, I feel anyway, just from my experience, or maybe it's just my own personality that I need this, that I need at least the bare minimum goal of putting something up on my blog every day.
Oh yeah, no, I'll agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah,
if I don't do that, then I'm not doing anything, and I'm just going to play video games or organize my comics.
No, I'm saying goals are good, but
and trust me, I would much rather right now be organizing my comics or playing video games.
That might actually, because you've been going through your entire comic collection, that might work as a good inspiration too, because you're seeing all this artwork that you like.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, if anything, it hurts.
Oh.
Because lifting up stacks of comics is painful.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a lot of paper cuts right now that, in my cuticles and shit. I am bleeding a lot lately.
Are you menstruating?
Well, on top of that.
Yeah. Oh. On top of your comics?
Yeah,
Don't bring those
on a stack.
Don't bring those into Mavericks. I know you've been trading away some of the ones you don't want.
I'm only menstruating on the ones I'm keeping.
Okay, that makes sense.
My entire run of John Burns' West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, that could use a good menstruation on it.
I decided that the Vision needed color.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because that's when the Vision was the all white.
Right. Yeah. It's gross. That's what that is. Oh man. Well, while you're visiting their website, you can also pop on over to buyerbeware.guttertrash.net, because I posted the first thing since September on there.
Nice.
Yesterday, I think, or day before.
Yeah.
So check it out, bitches.
But nothing that you probably won't post anything else again.
Oh, never again.
6 months,
Never
right?
again.
Yeah.
No. Well, I figured out until my computer's back up and running, I got a digital camera for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And if I really want to take a photo of something and put it on there, I can do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it obviously doesn't have the same look as a nice clean scan.
Right.
But But yeah, I took a photo of something. And,
Well, that's weird because the thing that you posted today, you have an entire file folder full of scans of that thing.
I do. Yeah, you're right. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't have the capability to resize them or anything. Like they're big. They're pretty big scans. I don't want to put giant scans on there. No, you're right. I do. I just don't have the means to size them for web display. But yeah. So check us out. We're out there.
We're doing stuff.
That's right. 2013.
Yeah.
2013 is the year.
2013 is the year that I removed myself from society and that I maybe start doing some stuff again.
You know, a lot of the great artists have done both of those things.
Yeah. Well, part of the removed from society thing may be that I might die before the end of the year.
Oh, I hope.
That is going to put a crimp in productivity.
Well, that is unless
but
you're like
I am
Tupac.
longing for the relief that death will bring.
Well, no, that's terrible.
Again, I think I've said this before. I'm not actively trying to kill myself,
Right.
but if I happen to die, I'm totally okay with it.
Oh, that's awful.
Either that, or I just stop becoming friends with everybody.
Well, that's bad too. No, I think
Stop being dicks, people.
maybe we'll
Invite me to things, fuckers.
we'll slowly tweak your vision there. Get you on the right page. I'll get you to a hockey game. I got tickets coming up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the news that I found out this week may conflict with some of that stuff. So, like I said, the next 3 months of my life may be completely up in the air.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I will have to play things by ear on a daily basis, depending on how things go.
Well, that sounds fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I already know that I'm losing at least a day of work next week because of this. So
Right.
anyway, I don't want to talk about that too much.
Yeah, it's blah blah
Yeah, I've
blah.
been watching a stupid TV show.
Oh yeah, which one?
It's called Breakout Kings.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Have I? Have I heard of it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It is dumb.
Like Ray Romano TV show dumb? Or?
No, not that dumb. But like Law and Order dumb.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a show about a thing. No, it's about it's a cop show kind of about two cops who put together a crack team of convicts who track down people who have broken out of prison.
Okay.
And the convicts get time shaved off of their sentences in exchange for their help.
Is one of the characters Deadshot?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I never saw the parallel there. It's kind of Suicide Squatty.
Yeah.
But it's created by the guys who did the show Prison Break.
Okay.
Which was another incredibly dumb show that I got so dumb that I stopped watching it after the first season. But they had a character from Prison Break show up in the Breakout Kings.
Oh, so as the same character.
As the same character.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I thought to myself, like Richard Belzer has played Detective Munch in like 7 or 8 different television shows. I kind of want to see that guy play Teabag in like all the television shows.
That was his character.
His character's name was Teabag.
Nice.
He was a homicidal, pedophile, rapist guy.
Wow. With a name like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
But like the only parts of the show that I find remotely watchable or entertaining are 2 of the actors. One guy who was on a show that I love called The Wire.
Okay.
And the other guy is, he's been like in a bunch of things that I've seen, but like the first thing that I ever saw him in was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
The 2 brothers who like they're really gross and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Those guys.
One of those brothers is on the show, and I find that guy entertaining no matter what.
Oh yeah. Is that show still on?
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Danny DeVito still on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Well, that's cool.
So yeah, that's all I've been doing really.
I've been watching Coen Brothers movies this week.
Who?
Yeah.
Any reason?
The library had some of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I've been watching.
Alright.
I think. Did I watch? Oh, I watched the Best Worst movie, the behind the scenes of Troll 2. It was fun.
Yeah, it's an alright movie.
Yeah, good times, good times. Speaking of movies,
No.
should I pick one?
Like, you could?
Like, I don't know if that's to the point where we're at.
Sure.
We're at that point?
We can cut this short. I don't care.
I don't know. We got Super Bowls
Tired
to
of
watch.
you? Yeah.
We got Super Bowls to watch.
You can go for a snack or something?
Do you know who was the halftime person today?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, me neither. Okay.
AC/DC.
Oh, then we definitely got to cut this short. Hope they do that one song that sounds like, that riff that
Right, yeah.
it's rocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. I was thinking we could watch a film called Dark Country. Are you familiar with a film called Dark Country?
I am not.
It's a Thomas Jane movie.
Okay. I am actually slightly more familiar with it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he directed it and stars in it.
Okay.
And I know for a fact it was turned into a comic
Yes.
that I own that I have not read yet.
Okay. Would you rather read that than...
Well, I think the movie came first,
Right.
and then the comic. So I want to watch the movie before I read the comic.
Okay, then.
And don't worry, I'm not gonna subsequently just pick the comic.
Okay, alright.
Yeah. Unless we decide that down the road.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, if you're down with that.
Sure. I got, wait a minute. Is Steve Niles involved in any sort of
I don't
way?
believe so. I think Tim Bradstreet is.
Okay.
I think he helped do some design work.
Okay, because if it's a Steve Niles, I will veto.
I don't believe so. I think it's
Steve Niles is a cocksucker.
well, because I have Dark Country, the graphic novel, is weird because it's like it has the comic, and then after the comic is like some production sketches that Tim Bradstreet did, and after that is the original like typed out prose story that it's based on, and that was written by it wasn't Steve Niles, it was some other guy I can't remember. So I don't think Steve Niles had anything to do with it.
Alright, because I know they're buds.
Thomas Jane and Steve
Yeah.
Niles. So you want to look it up before you choose not to veto?
No, we'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Alright, Dark Country.
Dark Country. Let's do it. Super Bowl Sunday. Huh? I don't know. Is that it? Is that the end of this thing? Bye.
I just wanted to see how long you can flounder.
I can. I've been doing it for 219 episodes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.